Today is from Psalm chapter 5, and today's psalm is a prayer of David, really focusing on God's judgment of wickedness. But before we get into that, I want to remind you today, let's be praying for our church family. And today we are praying for Larry and Joanne Hazlett. So I like the way that this psalm starts out, and it lets you know right up at the beginning that it is a prayer. David is calling out to the Lord to hear him. And I like in those early verses where he says, I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to prepare a sacrifice for you, and I'm going to watch. He's expectant. He is praying in faith, knowing that God hears him and he expects God to answer. And I appreciate it about this psalm. What is David praying about? Well, he talks a lot about wickedness. And I got the sense as I read through this that David he's feeling a little bit stressed out about wickedness and the wickedness that he sees around him in his life. Those who are fighting against God's plans, and just in general, the spirit of the world around him that is railing against God's authority. It's taking a toll on him, on his spirit, on his joy. He's troubled by it. And I think that is something that is going to come up again and again through the Psalms, because David was a righteous man, a man after God's own heart. He wanted to do the things that pleased God. And I think we can relate to him in that sense. When we are a child of God, and we want to love God with our lives, and we want to be living sacrifices, and we see the wickedness and the evil and the world running in the opposite direction, even if that wickedness is not directly impacting us, even if it's just something we see happening in the world, on the news or in other people's lives, it really can weigh on us. It can almost feel and really is like an attack on us, a spiritual attack, and we feel the weight of that, and it just makes us wonder. I think, like, it seems like for David here that he's almost wondering, Lord, why aren't you judging these people right now? But he's confessing the truth that he knows nothing has changed about who God is. He hates wickedness. He is holy, 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 and he is going to judge. And at the same time, he kind of goes in a rotation here of proclaiming that God is going to judge wickedness, but also being thankful for the mercy and the loving kindness, the generosity of God that God has had on him. And he makes a good point of, blessed is the one who takes refuge in the Lord. And that is true. Whoever takes refuge from sin, from God's wrath and his judgment on sin, takes refuge in the Lord, that one truly is blessed. And that's what we've done. We haven't trusted in our own righteousness, but we've just trusted in him, and we've ran to him. And that is certainly a message that the world needs to hear. As they're railing against God, as they're running in the other direction, our message to them is run to God, take refuge in him. That's what I did, and I have found salvation in the Lord. But I think the most, just the thing that sticks out to me as we read this psalm again, though, is just David's, that feeling of being overwhelmed by the wickedness we see in the world. Sometimes even by the sin we see in ourselves. We're followers of Christ, and we fall short, and we can just be overcome by that sometimes, and feel beaten down by it, I guess. But I think this psalm reminds us that the Lord's still on the throne. Nothing has changed about who he is. He is going to judge wickedness. But blessed is him who takes refuge in the Lord. And we recognize today that's us if we're followers of Christ. And that ought to be our message of hope as we go out. God bless you guys.